What's going on, guys? We have our top 5 must-draft players at their current ADP. We're going to let you know why their current values and what they're going to do for your fantasy roster. Let's get straight to it. What's going on, Coach? We have got to go through our top 5 current ADP values, and we're going to go straight to our first one, Coach, and that's going to be Deebo Samuel, who makes his way to my Washington Commanders. Really excited to see what he can do. We see last year, played in 15 games, had 81 targets, 51 receptions, only 670 yards, so certainly a down year for Deebo, but he steps into a big-time role in Washington. Coach, what's your thoughts with Deebo Samuel's current value and where he's sitting?
Yeah, I really like Deebo. I like all the talent that he's going to bring to Washington. His ADP currently is 79. He's going as wide receiver 36. All this is according to Fantasy Pros and their consensus values. But, Deebo is a guy that you manufacture touches for also. He's not just a route runner. He's a guy that can, make a living on jet sweeps and screens and things like that and really have a lot of big playability. I just really like where he is going value-wise. Like, I think you can get a big uptick for where you will draft him.
Yeah, you mentioned wide receiver 36 with an ADP of 79. That's value, in my opinion. I think certainly the offense in Washington might be a little bit better of a situation for him than was in San Francisco. Obviously, there was a lot of injuries there last year. They lost Christian McCaffrey. A lot of things have changed, but stepping in Washington, we've got the contract situation with Terry McLaurin as well. So Terry's not there. He's not building that repetition, that rapport with Jaden Daniels, and that's not to say that they won't have that going forward, but I do think it could impact them. And when we step back and look at the names that you could be getting in around Deebo Samuel, it's Rome Odunze, Waddle, Olave, Judy, Stephon Diggs. And I really like the upside for Deebo, and he's cheaper than some of them. I mean, again, wide receiver 44 last year, but I don't think that tells the entire picture. He looks healthy. He looks to be involved, and I think he's going to be a big-time playmaker for this offense.
Yeah, I expect a big bounce back from him. You're right. 44 last year. He really did have a down year. Like you said, he looks really healthy. Jaden Daniels is going to be a great person to put him with. I just expect him to finish somewhere around wide receiver 25 or something. So there's a lot of value in the draft pick of Deebo.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about our next player, Coach, and let's get into Travis Etienne, running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's another one of those murky situations. Who's going to be the guy there? We'll have to see. When we step back and look last year, he played in 15 games, had 150 rushing attempts with 558 yards, 39 receptions through the air, added another 250 yards and 2 touchdowns there. Coach, when we step back and look at Travis Etienne, he's currently being drafted as the RB 31. And not to mention, Coach, his ADP is 94, so he's going towards the back half of drafts. What's your thoughts on Travis Etienne this season?
I really get why people are a little bit afraid of not just Travis Etienne, but the entire Jaguar backfield. Like, nobody knows where it's going to go. But just judging off the preseason and training camp, it really looks like Travis Etienne is their number one guy. And if that's the case, I expect him to finish much higher than RB 31. He's got tons of upside. The dude's an electric player. He just seems to really fit what new head coach Liam Cohen wants in a player. I'm not saying he's Bucky Irving, but he does have a little bit of that in him where he can operate out of the backfield as well as between the tackles. So I really like Travis Etienne.
Yeah, and it's kind of a more of a bounce back take for the Jaguars this upcoming season. I know you and I talk about it a lot just because I'm a Jaguars stan at times, but it does feel like Etienne offers a bunch of upside in that role while also having the ability to produce at a value for our fantasy drafts. Trevor Lawrence is going to be healthy. They add Travis Hunter, so that's another weapon for this passing game, maybe to take some pressure off the running game and allow Travis Etienne to kind of get back into that role. I mean, we've seen him do it before, so it's not a product of does he have it in him. I mean, he's certainly been a player that's been able to produce, Coach. I mean, when we step back and really look at his production, 2022, he had over 1,100 yards. 2023, he had over 1,000 yards. So it's just, can that get back up? Yes, it might be a little bit murky with Tank Bigsby, but I think like you mentioned, Coach, he was the one. He was the guy that was kind of like getting the repetition, getting the first team snaps, and then being rested as the first one there. So I think it's interesting what's going to happen in this Jaguars offense. And when we step back and look at the names, Coach, around him, we're talking about Jaylen Warren, Caleb Johnson, Tyrone Tracy, they're similar risky plays. Do any of those names intrigue you, or would you rather have Travis Etienne?
See, for me, I'd rather have Travis Etienne. Like Tank Bigsby drove his stock down, like you said. Um, and oddly enough, there was a game where Bigsby got the nod over Etienne in a preseason game. I just think Etienne is just the more athletic guy, and just all around can help this Jaguar team.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he's got the rapport with Lawrence. It goes back to college. I mean, how much does that matter now? Maybe not much, but it is at least something. We'll see if Bashal Tutin can be worked in, the new rookie that they brought in from Virginia Tech. Certainly electric playmaker, but it kind of hasn't really
Yeah.
manifested too much in the preseason. He's made some missed tackles, but not a ton of big plays. Have you seen anything else, Coach?
No, I had high hopes for Tootin coming out of college. I actually drafted him relatively high in our first dynasty draft way back in May, and now I'm kind of really concerned about. I'm not sure he'll get much run at all this season.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a longer term play. But coach,
Yeah.
let's just jump to our next player, and it's one of your favorites. It's a guy we've talked about several times this offseason so far, and it's none other than Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver for the 49ers. Again, stepping into a great situation with opportunity. When we step back and look at the stats from the rookie year, not much to talk about. 11 games played, 45 targets, 31 receptions, just over 400 yards. And then he had 3 touchdowns to go with that. Coach, I'm going to let you get started here. Talk to us about Ricky Pearsall. What's your thoughts there?
Well, I'm a sucker for opportunity, and Pearsall's got it. Now, we can't forget that he was a first-round pick last season, so they had high hopes for him. Beginning of last year, of course, he's a guy that got shot in the chest. It's really amazing that he played at all last year, and there's also a reason why he wasn't super productive initially. But as the year went on, he got super healthy. He was fantastic down the stretch. I mean, he had games of 28 points, 19 points the last 2 games in the regular season. And I just think that's sort of springboarded him into this season. The wide receiver room around him is full of injuries and mess. I saw they do expect Juwan Jennings back, but Jacob Cowing's out for a while. I think right now, just going off the preseason, Ricky Pearsall is their guy. Like, he's number one. They've been treating him like that. He's got all the looks. He's getting more targets than everybody else. Like, I expect him to far exceed his ADP.
I think so too, and it's one of those players when he got the opportunity to actually do it, he performed at the end of the year. So I'm really excited to see what he gets with a full year. He's now healthy. You mentioned he had the injury before the season. He also had the gunshot wound, so there was a lot of things coming into the year that kind of set him back, and he played. So that is amazing, and it's a credit to him. But also, I mean, the competition there in that room, it's not great. Juwan Jennings issues. There's injuries all over the place with the 49ers, and we know it's a good offense, and that wide receiver one in that role is going to be able to produce. And it looks like it's going to be Ricky Pearsall. And I'm excited to see him paired with Shanahan, paired with Brock Purdy. But I think it's worth noting the names around him, Coach. I really like the upside of Pearsall. I mean, we're talking about Chris Godwin, Matthew Golden, Khalil Shakir. I mean, those are names that don't necessarily scare me, especially Shakir. I'd much rather have Ricky Pearsall. I think the upside is way higher there. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, totally. Give me Pearsall over Shakir, over Godwin. Like, believe it or not, that's where I'm at with Ricky Pearsall. People also tend to forget Kyle Shanahan is elite. Like, he is an elite play caller. He will find a way to get Ricky Pearsall involved. If he's treating him as his guy, then he's gonna show him that on Sundays.
Yeah, and another name too, Coach, is Jacoby Myers is currently being drafted ahead of Ricky Pearsall. To me, that's a huge mistake. I mean, he could be the one in Vegas, but that is the definition of just a safe, low ceiling play, whereas Ricky Pearsall is a high ceiling play.
Yeah, there is tons of boom with Ricky Pearsall, like tons of boom potential. I really feel like if he just plays okay, he's going to finish right where his ADP is. Like, if he just has an okay year. If it explodes, I mean, he's a guy, would not shock me if he finished in the top 25.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to pose a question to you. Would it shock you if he's a top 25 player or if he was a wide receiver too? No, not at all. I mean, again, he's being drafted as the wide receiver 42. So he doesn't not have to do that much to pay off the value he's currently sitting at. His ADP at 90 or 89 kind of depends on when you're looking at it. It's bouncing back and forth with us here live. But it's one of those things, Coach, where I love the play there. I don't think there's a ton of risk in taking Ricky Pearsall, but I do think there's a really, really high reward. And I mean, to your credit, Coach, you've been all over Ricky Pearsall back to when he was a rookie. Do you think Brock Purdy can stabilize this offense with Pearsall being the one, or do you think there's any concern with, Ayuk eventually coming back and being the guy?
No, I think Pearsall will be the one. I do think this offense is poised to be really good if McCaffrey can stay healthy. That's going to be a key cog in this. Of course, they brought Brian Robinson Jr. in to kind of help stabilize that backfield. But if McCaffrey is healthy, he'll take a lot of pressure off these wide receivers, and I expect Pearsall to eat as a result.
Totally agree. If they can get back to running the ball, I think that's going to only help this 49ers offense. And they've definitely shapen up that defense a little bit too. I know Hoff's really excited for that, but I'm happy with the opportunity Ricky Pearsall is going to get, and that's kind of the word you always use, Coach. What kind of opportunity are we looking at? But let's just jump to our first quarterback of our must buys, Coach, and that's going to be Dak Prescott. Again, Dak Prescott's situation is kind of ever changing. But it is one of those things when he plays and he is healthy, he's going to produce a ton of fantasy points. I mean, we see last year he only played in 8 games, had almost 2,000 passing yards, 65% completion percentage, and only 11 touchdowns. But we step back to 2023, Coach, 17 games. He had 590 passing attempts, over 4,500 yards, and 36 touchdowns. He is one of those guys that will produce for fantasy as long as he's able to stay on the field. Coach, is this a quarterback you're willing to have on your redraft teams, given the cost he's currently sitting at?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that I've been targeting left and right this offseason. The added addition to Pickens is going to really help him. But something I want people to remember when it comes to quarterbacks is if you finish the season healthy, you're going to finish in the top 15 or 16, just from playing every game. Now, if you take that, Dak Prescott's ADP is QB 12 currently. If Dak Prescott plays every game, he'll finish in the top 10 with quarterbacks. I feel very confident in that. Now, obviously, we understand there's some health concerns, and I totally get that. But when Prescott stays healthy, and I think with Pickens and the offense he's kind of got around him, he's got a better offense around him than he's had in several years. I think he's gonna hang in there. He's gonna have a good year. And I would be shocked. Let me ask you this, Matt. Would you be shocked if he finished in the top 6?
Absolutely not. And here's the reason why. If we step back again and look at the years when Dak Prescott has been healthy. So 2023, he played 17 games. He finished as QB3 with 590 pass attempts. We go back to 2021. He finished as QB8, 596 pass attempts. 2017, played in 16 games, QB10. 2017, or excuse me, that was 2017. 2016, he finished as QB7. So the opportunity for Dak is massive. And you mentioned the weapons. He added Pickens. Ferguson's coming back. He still has CD. The run game is a huge question mark. Is Javonte Williams the guy? Is Jaden Blue going to be the guy? Who knows? But what I do know is that Dak is going to sling the ball all over the place, and it's only to his benefit. I mean, he certainly will outproduce the QB position of 12, in my opinion, and an ADP of 103. And when we look at the players at that spot, Coach, we're talking about skill guys like Jaden Reed, Najee Harris, or Ramondre Stevenson. I'd much rather have my quarterback be Dak Prescott than draft Jaden Reed. And at the same time, the quarterback's going before him, Coach, Purdy, Goff, I'd rather have Dak Prescott. I think there's a higher upside.
Yeah, I was going to say, Purdy and Goff are going right before him. Sure, those are nice, stable options. You're probably going to get guys that are going to finish about where they are, in my opinion. Whereas Prescott is a guy that could really blow up and have a huge year. That's the thing with this. We want to buy Dak Prescott because of his potential to finish as a top 6 quarterback if everything goes well. You got Justin Fields right there behind him. No, give me Dak Prescott all day long.
Yeah, I was about to ask you the question. The next quarterback is Justin Fields. How comfortable would you be with Justin Fields over Dak Prescott? Now, certainly there's rushing upside, and we acknowledge that. We talk about this a lot, that rushing upside is absolutely realistic. He's going to get those opportunities. He's going to score a bunch of points that way. But the opportunity that Dak has to throw the ball 590 times, that's huge for fantasy.
Yep, and Dak's just a better quarterback. It's that simple. So if Dak is healthy, he's going to be out there and he's going to play all year long. Fields, not that great of a thrower. We all know that. There's a world where if things don't go really well with Fields, like he could get benched and they could be hunting somebody else.
Yep, totally agree. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they tried to add someone now. I mean,
Yeah.
there's guys out there they could go and get there that are going to be available, but we'll have to certainly watch that situation. I don't think Fields is going
Mhm.
to lose his job this year, but if things get rough, it's possible.
Yep. You never know.
Well,
But
let's
we
talk
know
about
Dak's not losing his job.
exactly. We know he's not. I mean, there's going to be a lot of speculation about Joe Milton because the preseason hype with the Cowboys is always insane. But
Mhm.
Dak is the play. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Is there, Coach?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, let's talk about our final player here, Coach. And that's going to be Cade Otton, another tight end with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last year, played in 14 games, had 87 targets and 59 receptions for 600 yards. Added 4 receiving touchdowns. The year before that, another stable year. He had 17 games played, 67 targets, 47 receptions, and almost 500 yards, and 4 touchdowns for the year. This Bucs offense, Coach, has lots of weapons. They certainly are throwing the ball. Baker Mayfield had an incredible year last year. Tailing it together 2 back-to-back seasons with really, really high passing production in this Tampa Bay offense. Tell us why you think that Cade Otton is currently a value in drafts and what you might think we can do with him at his current ADP.
Man, it is so interesting. I mean, no tight end is more disrespected than Cade Otton coming off of last year. I mean, he's going as tight end 24, ADP 205. I mean, if you just go back to what he did last year, he was tight end 14 in PPR. I mean, 14. Year before that in 2023, when no one even knew who he was tight end 20. So you see consistent upside from Cade Otton. He went from tight end 26 to 20 to 14. All he's doing is getting better. And I expect a year similar to last year. He developed a rapport with Baker Mayfield. Mayfield knows he can use him as his safety blanket underneath. And I really expect that to at least be similar to last year. If that's the case, he's going as tight end 24. If you draft him there and he finishes 12, 13, 14, then that's a guy that you've got significant value from.
Yeah, and I think the biggest part here when we're talking about Cade Otton is we're talking about a late round tight end. Like, certainly, this is not one of the premium guys. We're not projecting some sort of top 5 finish. What we're saying
Yeah.
is if you're having to stream a tight end to start the year, let's say you missed out on those big guys, you might as well wait later and take Cade Otton with one of your last picks because he's going as tight end 24. Like, he's probably going to be undrafted. You can throw him on your roster, and you could certainly have a worse streaming tight end than Cade Otton to start the year. I mean, you use him for the first couple of weeks, you figure out if his usage is enough, or you go play on the waiver wire and find another tight end to throw into your lineup. But the point is, tight end 24 is way too low, and he can easily outproduce that, especially given the passing offense and volume that Baker Mayfield has.
You know, it is mind blowing to me that a guy like Darren Waller is going ahead of Cade Otton. I just, who's drafting Darren Waller over Cade Otton? I want to meet these people.
Yeah, and there's other names too. I mean, you got Pat Fryermuth being drafted ahead of him, who added Jonnu Smith in that offense, which is another target that could take away from him. You mentioned Darren Waller, Isaiah Likely, who's the tight end 2 on his team. Hunter Henry, there's certainly some tight end upside there, or excuse me, some tight end touchdown upside there. So I can respect that maybe a little bit, but I'd rather have Cade Otton, especially given the situation we have right now in Tampa Bay. Coach, we've got Chris Godwin, who's probably not going to be ready to start the year. Jalen McMillan just got hurt in the preseason, so he's going to be out. This is where Emeka Egbuka is going to have to step up. We have an aging Mike Evans, and to me, all that screams is Cade Otton might have a little bit of an uptick.
Well, you also have a really good offense in Tampa in a division that does not have very good defenses. So you know what that means? There's going to be a lot of opportunities around the end zone for Tampa and for Cade Otton.
That's a great point too, Coach. I mean, if you're talking about how he gets 2 games each year against the Saints, 2 games against the Panthers, sign me up for that. I mean, I like
Yeah.
that opportunity for Cade Otton and this offense led by Baker, who we know is going to throw the ball an absolute ton.
Yep. Totally.
Well, that's going to do it for us, guys. Those are our top 5 must draft values right now based on their current ADP. So be sure to like the stream. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Face Off Sports Network. We have all sorts of content out there. We will continue to be pressing out all sorts of things about ADP, value, trades, drafts, all things you can think about. If you haven't, be sure to check out our Patreon and Discord. The links will be in the description, and we will catch you in the next one.